So, hello to our podcast,
Yeah, this is episode 8.
and today we're gonna talk about some interesting topics, mostly about living in city and living in countryside,
Y-
choosing what is the best for different situations, and overall talking about that.
Yeah, because here in Latvia where we live, a lot of people have these countryside homes,
Mm-hmm.
us included, and we usually spend our summers and also different times of the year there. So we have things to compare with, like living in the countryside and in city. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's today's topic. Maybe we'll also go outside of it, but that's just for the start.
So, I think that the best place we could start though is just what would you say is like the best for you? Where do you feel like you're the most yourself, and where do you like to live?
Well, personally, I like both living in cities and in countryside because there's both pros and cons for that. For example, in city, you have everything close to you, like the gym.
Mm-hmm.
For example, shops and cinemas and everything like that. But in countryside, you feel more connected to nature and just I think personally feel better because you have fresh air, more exercise usually,
Mm-hmm.
you are seeing more sunlight, yeah, spending more time in nature, and it just feels better.
Mm.
And how do you feel? Do you prefer to live in city or in countryside?
Honestly, I feel the same way because in city everything is close. You can go like from one place to another, at least in small city like for our where we live, which is Riga. Maybe in a bigger city it would feel different, but here everything is literally beside us. It's near us. We can travel, like maybe take a bus or drive a motorcycle with bike like for 10, 20 minutes, and we're already in the places that we need to be. For example, this gym, shopping centers, everything human needs. So that's the great part about city. But I feel in city like I'm not myself because most of the cases I want to do crazy stuff. I want to do I want to do a lot of interesting things, and in city it's impossible. Like swimming in the sea or ocean. Like
Mhm.
okay, wouldn't talk about crazy stuff yet, but I think you should understand me. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
more things you can do in a
Mhm.
countryside, so I would choose that. But
Mhm.
from this point, I think you need really the balance here. I mean,
Mhm.
probably what do you think? What do you think it comes down? Do you think it's about the person and his personality where he wants to live, or do you really need to balance for both of them,
Mhm.
both of those things?
Well, I think it's just important to have a good balance of two because you don't want to be the one who lives in the mountains and nobody can get to, and also you don't want to live all the time in the city because it's crowded and you want also to spend time in nature.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think there's definitely different stages of balance for different people because of their temperament and personality. Some want to spend more time in city, some more time in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, personally, I think it goes down to how person wants to either spend more time in city or in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think I definitely would want to spend more time in nature because it just feels. Uh, I mean, I feel so much happier there, but I also wouldn't want to spend all year there because for example in winter,
Mhm.
if you're in a countryside there's not really that much to do because because it's snowy outside and you cannot spend that much time outside. And yeah, there's definitely little bit more things to do in city, especially social aspects are just better because there's more people living there, your friends, different things to do,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is sort of, yeah, definitely a good thing to strive for balance and figure out what do you want to either spend more time in your social aspects of your neighborhood or city, or if you want to go to your countryside because it's very a specific thing in Latvia because a lot of people have these countryside homes.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in USA or somewhere else, people don't really have have these like countryside homes. They like just either live in the city or just in the countryside.
I think it really comes down to our culture and the history of ours, because in America the history is really like the real history of development is like what 300 or 400 years ago, where the first time it was found, right?
Yeah, from Columb.
Yeah, this was really their history. So there wasn't a lot of people who was living there and maybe developing like for thousands, like couple hundreds of years. But here in Europe, for our Latvia, we have a culture of more than 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was developed all the year by year,
I mean,
and a lot of people, our grandparents, grand grandparents, and so on, has lived there. So there wasn't really a big cities until like 100, maybe 150 years ago.
I mean, there were like big cities, but
Wasn't really those structures like big houses.
yeah,
you
there
know?
were a lot more people in the countryside, like
Yeah.
comparatively. It's also like just in everywhere in the world because like of this industrialization, like where people move to big cities because they work there, just less people needed in like agriculture.
In that time also,
Yeah.
the rich people, the real rich people, was the ones who had like all the foods. They had like where to stay in the winter, in the summer, right? Take some fun, and in most of the cases it was countryside, because they had big farms. They could make a lot of business by that. I think it was one of the, I won't say easiest, but the most available business out there, which is like farm, supplying foods for the city, for their
Yeah, just
for their families, you know. So that's why they probably live there, and that's where our grandparents live. So this is the big comparison of why we have like those countrysides and why America don't. Also, the culture here is a little different, and maybe they don't. I don't know what's happening in their mind, because they're like we are different. We have different mentalities, but most of them don't really want the countryside. They don't think that's like it's necessary. I mean, how can you want countryside if you're all you're thinking is gay shit? If there's shit going on, if there are protests all over the world and so on. I mean, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, definitely history like plays like big part on like the culture and like the difference between like people in like as I said in different cultures. For example, like in Latvia there's so many of like these countryside homes because Latvia was occupied by USSR. No, US. Yeah, just wanted to say it correctly in English because like because we also know Russian, we may say accidentally it's in like Russian or something, but okay, you understand. Soviet Union. And as it dissolved, people got a lot of properties back, and basically everyone basically everyone has a countryside home. But in US, as you said, people like move to big cities, and there's not really that much people in countryside. And I think just it's so interesting how like history shapes our culture in this way of like even like we're not talking about living and like thoughts about like living in city or countryside, but it also affects like different things like
also social life. I think is one of the biggest, because there very big difference if you born in the countryside and you lived all the way, you developed all the way there, or you lived in a city and then moved to countryside, or you had this split balance, because a lot of people don't have this balance. They don't have like a lot of money or real estate, or just this opportunity to have these both opportunities out there. Most of them have like one, which is whether it's city, whether it's countryside. It's a lot of time that shit happens. Maybe not in our country that much, but in other countries that's the reality. So also how you think, your social life, it's really depending on those things. Because if you live in a very small countryside city, you don't have a lot of people around there. You don't have a lot of opportunities to see a lot of different people and have those ideas for them. Thought about those ideas and in that way develop. Right? You have a couple people, probably in the city you know everyone. So there's not so much differentiality in those things.
Yeah, I really like this like social aspect thing that you brought up, that like in small city like you basically know everyone, you are all friends, hopefully, But in these big cities, like you don't even like maybe know your neighbor because yeah, just people are so like pulled farther apart. They're probably lonelier in cities, even though there's more people there. Yeah, but
Because every time you go outside, you will 100% in a city, in a big city, see somebody who you don't know. 100%. Like whatever happens, you go outside, you see different people. Maybe if you go like 100 meters, okay. You just go outside to some places, of course you will see random people that you don't even know. But in the small countryside cities, every single apartment, you know, everyone who lives there. Maybe the random people who will like cross the road would be like travelers, maybe some neighbor, family members that you don't know. But in most of the cases, you know everyone. So you also know what to talk about them, what they like. There's not so many different things you can talk with them. So, do you think it's like advantage? Do you think it's advantage that you know everyone and you know what everybody likes, their different personalities and so on? Or do you think that in a city there's much more place to develop because of the different people live there and also the fact that you don't know everyone and there's 100% going to be people that you don't know, their stories, their amazing personalities and the things they do.
Yeah, well, I just thought about like you said like people know everyone in countryside because like my grandma used to live there. She basically knows everyone, and like when there are like parties where people from all around come to our house, she like just knows everyone has story to tell, and I just think that people want that like ability to say that they're close with other people like in their neighborhood, their friends, their like neighbors, and I think it's definitely like emotionally feels better because you have like feeling of like friendship and being close to another person, but in like there isn't like that much like new things happening, like new thoughts. But in cities, like there are so many people of different cultures, especially in this day and age where like there are people from all over the world in basically one city, any city like large, and yeah, definitely a lot more like you can learn cultures and different ideas circulate in the cities. And yeah, for development, I think yeah, cities are better because you are seeing more different people. You can come into contact with different ideas, but you're not like feeling that happy. I think because also like there's like this more traffic, there's more stress in cities, but no, it looks like modern age is like going to that people are going to move to more and more cities and
make it bigger.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens, but I think the biggest question is really how would those things develop? Because we see in the modern day society, a lot of people who live in the city are much more depressed. They have more thoughts to be depressed than in countryside. Not just because of false informations and all that stuff, but also that I can't say it's easier to live in city, but in a countryside there's always some things that you have to do. It could be, even if it's not work, which is in most of the cases, you still have to, there's still much more opportunities, like going outside with your, maybe you have some neighbor friends, right? Just going outside with them. Maybe it's just having this peaceful time, watching the sunset and going to the forest, for example. Today I was going for some mushrooms. It was just, it was just like for the passionate. It was after the training. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna need something to eat, so let's make it today. I will not go to shop. Okay, I will spend more time, but it will be more peaceful, and also it will be more interesting because it's interesting to go through this forest with a peace and just find things. You can go like for a couple minutes, you don't find anything. You're a little bit like bored, and then the dopamine that hits that when you found the mushrooms is like crazy. So these things like you can do so much things in the countryside, but in the city, if you don't know what to do, if you don't know these right things to do, because there's a lot of opportunities, like you can go to party, you can do dumb shit, but it's in most of the cases it's dumb shit. The city is made to make money from you. You can't do like these peaceful things because in the countryside you don't have opportunity to go whether to forest or casino. No, man. You can go to just forest and those things, right? But in the
Yeah.
city, you can do this 1,000 things, all the way down from partying, from going to water park, going to some restaurant, going whatever it is, man. There's 1,000 opportunities. So
Yeah, that like at the start of your you said that people have like things to do, and I just thought that like people are much more like physically active in countryside, and I think it's definitely the reason why they're happier, and also like being in nature, as you like mentioned, going to gather mushrooms. Yeah, and I think it's definitely the reason why people in countryside are happier, and I think like city dwellers, all the people living in their like 5-story buildings in small apartments, like for example in countryside, for example in Latvia, you can see like cows, maybe chickens, goats, sheep.
even horses.
Yeah, in horses, but for example, if you like live in major city, like you don't even know like how these animals look possibly, and you're like, for example, you're eating a pork, also pigs, pork or like chicken nuggets, and maybe
Chicken nuggets.
chicken, yeah. And there's definitely people who are eating like Americans who are like eating McDonald's. They're ordering chicken nuggets and they don't know from where they come probably.
Probably they're not even from chicken.
I mean,
Like chicken nuggets
yeah,
in
okay.
McDonald's is not
Okay,
chicken.
okay, yeah, sure. But you get the idea that people are just like so pulled apart away from like farming, which like basically our civilization has done for like the past multiple thousand years, like growing crops and animals, and people have just like forgot everything basically.
So the idea of developing into the shop, so you don't have to worry about things, impacted us in two different ways. Of course, it's easier for us to go to the shop, right? But we don't know where the fuck this food comes from. It could come literally from everywhere. It can come because we don't know. What we see is just some random businesses out there that are kind of organically putting the foods up, right? Maybe shopping the things, but then let me know how does the sweets are made. What the fuck is this in those chemicals? I mean, of course, we know that it's from sugar, from some kind of chemicals, but how do you get all those things together? How the fuck do you do that, man? I mean, it's literally all like, how do we call that? It's made from 1,000 different stuff, so it doesn't really make a sense for me to eat those things. But before you know that it's bad, and of course maybe like teacher said that it's bad, you don't have to eat that. I mean, honestly, you don't give a fuck about that. You just say I want to eat it, fuck the teacher, and let's go buy some new candies at the shop. But yeah, in the farm in those times you solve everything you eat, because the food is one of the most important stuff how you talk. It's how you think, it's who do you become, it's also how do you feel, like how do you look like? Do you look fat or do you look good? Do you have like bad ideas coming to your mind because of the foggy mind of what you eat? You don't even know what the fuck you eat? Or do you have a great mind with like peace, no brain fogs, you feel good, and all of that stuff? It comes down to the food as well. So living in the farms, you know everything. How do you, what did you eat? Because you know the process of how it became food, from the seeds or from like if it's about meat, of course, like there was like some baby chickens born, right? You know the process.
Eggs,
You know the process, but in shops like you don't see anything.
Yeah, just like if you like grow on like countryside, you there's no way that you become vegan basically.
No fucking way.
There's no way.
Whether you die or you don't die.
Yeah. Yeah, because like people are becoming like vegans nowadays because like there are these shops and there's like food all year round, but like 100 or just like even 50, I mean maybe not 50 but 100 years ago, the like crops like vegetables, fruit, they were only available like in the summer and maybe autumn. There were like nothing to eat for 6 months, like during the winter and spring. But
only the foods that you could potentially make for the winter, like there is this.
Like store over winter but and besides the point that people like needed to eat like meat, but now because there's like people like on boats or on planes like flying avocados and bananas, just
Where the fuck do you see bananas in the winter? Literally in your hometown, there would be no bananas, nothing. There's literally nothing that grows. only the living shit,
yes,
going place to place, like pork, chicken, beef.
living pork.
Living
Yeah,
pork.
walking pork. Yeah, man.
Of course.
American knowledge of like, oh, there's a wild steak in the field.
No. I mean, it's pigs that later on become a pork.
Yeah.
Of course, but it was literally only thing that you could eat in the winter if, and only if, you haven't prepared for the winter, like from the summertime. You could potentially make those, I don't know how they're called, but my
Yeah, I
grandma
know what
make,
you're talking about. The like
in those little
glass. Yeah,
boxes.
things. Yeah.
In those little glass things, we have something that we can eat in the winter because our grandmas, thanks to our grandmas, have prepared for those times. But back then, it was literally only that you could eat. If you don't have this prepared, you will eat only fucking meat. Maybe some other stuff, of course, but like it was impossible. I don't know how they survived. Maybe that's the question and answer why all of those people died so many times in the winter.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a chance to even be a vegan. So that's very good. From one point, that's very, very good because you don't have like all of those bad things happening like it is right now. It's not just about your body, but the ideology that you bring to the people.
Yeah, like that just. I mean,
degenerating our society.
Okay.
What do you think about those people, though?
Oh no.
I mean, we can't say like we don't support them on show. We support them, but what can you say about this thing?
I mean, I'm all forward for like you can do what if you're like grown, you can do whatever you want. Like I'm not stopping you, but like if you want to like teach me about your ways of living and you're like trying to, for example, there were these like protesters like vegans, and there was like this chef. Like who of course makes like meat and also vegetables and different things, and they were protesting and just ruining his like rating like from 4.2 stars to like 2.2.8 something like that, and like he was pissed and he basically sent them all three houses far farther, as a Latvian saying goes, and just you can do whatever you want, but just don't make it like you don't have to like brag about it or. Just leave. We can leave you like do your own thing, but don't get us into it.
That's the most interesting part, because why would you talk about a thing to me if you could stay in your own mind? If you do this, all right, do that. I mean, it's up to you, right? But why would you need to share your opinion about those things and proving me that it's better in some ways? I mean, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Just go live your life. I mean, if I play airsoft and if I beat the fuck out of the people, why would I come to you and say that it's the best things you can do, that it's the best way you can develop, and that you have to do this all the time? Of course, in some way it is.
I mean,
but why would I share this opinion if it doesn't make sense? Of course, it's maybe good for me. Maybe if you want to be a military, of course, yes, it's good. But it's fun also. Why the fuck would I share this opinion of mine if this doesn't make sense?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely like this. A lot of people like have these thoughts that are just like planted in their brain, and they haven't like processed them. Like they haven't like fact checked them. Like even just like thought for them like for more than 20 seconds. For example, like. Let's say the modern movies, like there was this, movie Barbie, and basically just shitting on men for 2 hours, something like that.
You watched it?
No.
God sakes.
I don't need to watch
Thanks.
that. Thanks,
Yes.
man. Thanks. Why would I watch shit and make that like circulate in my head? So, but I have like watched breakdowns of it. Because like there's like English, I don't know if he's English, but the Critical Drinker on YouTube, he's like quite famous like movie critic drinking Jack Daniels. And so basically he went on to talk about shit that was Barbie movie. Just people like have these opinions like these woke people that like all men are trash and something like that. But like when something happens, like house is burning, who do you call firemen? And they're all guys.
Of course. It also comes down to different opinions about things, whether it's about people or some stuff that you do. Let's take a look at all of those feminists that say that entertainment is bad. I mean, how do they even become the feminists? I don't even know, but probably it's about watching couple women talking about some shit that in somehow relates to them. That's how they became the fucking feminists in the first place. They don't have like their own ideas about that. They just became of somebody else. But also, their thoughts are created because of those people who are like little bit above. Because they say that Andrew Tate is bad because of one video he did like 10 years ago, right? About some kind of bullshit that he doesn't even remember from this point. He's absolutely changed, and probably like a lot in a lot of cases it was like literally cut off, and it was like in joking situation.
Sarcasm or something. Yeah.
So they don't even know how the joke became, and whether it's like in a good or bad intentions. They just know what they're so kind of. They call this idols, right? Say to them, and they literally have this opinion because of them, and that's why they're fucked up.
Yeah, I think it's funny because like the movement feminism, you would think that it is like meant to like make women more feminine, but it is like making women like more masculine. Like you're the girl boss and like do whatever like you want.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, but it's just like so strange that these people.
Okay, even if that would make sense, but it doesn't. In any way, it doesn't make sense. But even if it would, why the fuck would you waste your time explaining me your thoughts about those things? You could literally spend it in any way. You could make it more peaceful for you. You could go outside, walk. You could like do some work. You could go to gym. You could drink some coffee, drink some tea. You could do millions of other stuff. But you're talking to me about the fucking feminine things and explaining me that it's somehow better than what I do right now. You're explaining to me that I don't have to be a man. I have to be emotional. Yeah, you have to be emotional until somebody comes to your house like with a gun and says, "Give me all your money or I will shoot your wife." The fuck you will do with that? I'm emotional. Sorry, I can't do anything. Sorry, Catherine, I'm emotional. I can't do anything.
I'm scared.
What the fuck, man?
Okay. I mean, we're definitely speedrunning to like getting banned on all social media.
I don't even care, man. We will create another channels. I don't care about that because it's literally just for us.
Yeah, basically just practicing like public speaking.
But it's crazy. It's crazy because if you really thought about that, if you really analyzed all the things, what the fuck you're saying and the consequences of that. Would you really say that the men are bad and all the men are bad and women like are the greatest? I mean, of course, both of them are fucking important. Of course, women are important. Of course, men are important. But don't say that women are like everything and men is nothing. It's like me saying the woman is nothing and men are everything. I don't believe that as well. I think that woman is absolutely beautiful. They're beautiful creatures, and that they 100% need to be here with us. Men need to be with women, and women need to be a man, so we could be both on 100% and be the best versions of ourselves. Because men somehow helps women become the fullest of them, and women also helps men to become the fullest version of themselves with their sport, with all the things they do.
Yeah, I just think how like feminists have shaped history, like in this like certain like perspective where like men have like dominated women for like all the history, and like it's just like such a like bad way like to view history for like both women and especially like young men. Because like if you are told that like men have oppressed women like for all the history, like what you're gonna do about that? It's just like such a bad like way to like view history, because like men and women have like helped each other like throughout history, like cooperated, but like saying that I mean what they say that everything is a fucking patriarchy, male dominated patriarchy, and just fuck
Even if that would be
Yeah.
true. I mean, that's why the fuck there are buildings out there. That's why the fuck there's roads out there. I mean, that makes some sense.
Mhm.
But still, I mean, yeah, there's definitely have to be a balance. And when women say that we're equal, I mean, if you really would do all the stuff that men do, I mean, of course we would be equal. But I don't know what to say about that because honestly, I shared the opinion of what I have researched. I
Mhm.
wasn't really going into that direction, but I 100% know that women are beautiful, men, men are also needed in our countries, in our families, in the
Mhm.
world, so we can maintain it, so we can build awesome
Mhm.
stuff, and both are very important. So I think
Mhm.
moving from that theme, I mean, do you believe that? Do you believe that cities will dominate the world? That there will be so
Like-
much cities that there
Mhm.
wouldn't even be so much people to live in them, or do you think that there would be more like they would understand that maybe going into countryside is like a little bit better, and besides building a big cities of like this tall houses, right,
Mhm.
apartments, maybe we should like build some little cities with the houses.
Yeah.
A lot of little cities with the houses, or less cities with big houses. Very good
Okay,
explanation.
very good explanation. I mean, personally, if like I was like in charge of like industrialization, I would definitely like move like more jobs to like what was it called, countryside. Definitely, because like people in countryside, they don't have like that many jobs, either in like industry, like creating like I don't know what, like chopping wood, coal, whatever.
Yeah.
And they also don't have like that many like educational jobs like doctors and like school teachers, because like there's not that many people there. Like schools are getting closed down. I mean, here in Latvia, I don't know how the situation is elsewhere, but yeah, you talked about people like are living all in like on like mega cities, and I think like it's like there's definitely a lot of like these mega cities like New York and Los Angeles, where there's like 10 million people, 15 million people, even more. Also like in Tokyo or like somewhere like in Asia, there's like small cities like 100 millions of people. It's crazy how packed they are. That also like there's like people, for example, like hippies in the 80s or 70s, like they people are like wanting to go back to nature. I think like, I can see like how more and more people are going to like start to want to go like back to the more natural ways of like living in countryside. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that people are going to start to go back to living in countryside, or overall they're just going to still continue to go to cities?
We talk about what do people would want more.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in both ways. Somebody wants to live in cities, somebody wants to live in countrysides. But from what I hear, a lot of people want to move to the houses, right? Like majority of them,
Yeah.
like 70-80% want their own houses. Most of the cases that mean countryside. Because in the big cities you can't really build those houses
Yeah,
and
they're
also
like
like live there. So that means that most of the people want to live in countryside, but with like not like in a shithole like in Siberia or something, where socialism is possible, where you can socialize with people when there's a lot of people, but you can't live in houses. That's what people want. But do really governments and all of them care about what people want? Because if we see right now, the real benefits of living is mostly in cities. Living in the countryside has become like impossible because a lot of people move out there, a lot of people shutting down, and also it is, if we talk about profitable things, living in big houses becomes impossible because you have to maintain house, you need to clean house, so you have to pay like taxes for the land, not just for the house but also for the land, for all those things, and it becomes really struggling for those people to actually live in those places. However, in a city, you don't really have to pay a lot of things. Maybe rent an apartment, right? A couple of things here and there. You already paid everything, and it's probably like $500 a month. Something around that, maybe a little bit more. I would say 500 to. In the US, it would be more of 2,000, 3,000. Of course, but if we compare what you have to pay in the countryside and in the big cities, then more beneficial is city. But if they both were equal in the money
Yeah, man.
and in a socializing and all of that, a lot of people I think would want their own houses in the countryside type of
Yeah.
place.
I mean, I think a lot of like people are. It's like something similar like to vacations. They're like renting or like I don't know what it's called, like going to Airbnbs like
Yeah.
somewhere in nature for like a week or something, just like
Mhm.
chilling. I think it's something like similar. If you like don't want to actually like own the property or you want to like go to different places, you can like do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I don't know. I think it's something special. Like if you have your own land, you're like the master, or like I don't know how to call it, but the owner basically
Yeah.
can do whatever you want. I mean, there's also like some stupid laws in Latvia.
Of course, we could definitely talk about them, but I think we would be shut down pretty quickly.
I mean, I don't think so, but
They're stupid. Like, let's be honest. The law is
not all laws, but a lot of them
it's questionable.
questionable.
It's
Yeah.
really questionable about why these laws are still alive in the countryside type of thing. Why would they need to go to government if they want to chop one fucking tree?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Why? Why?
I'll-
If this tree doesn't make a sense, if it's not some kind of old-fashioned like some red flag, right? There is those books in our country where
Yeah,
there's
they were
some
say not sacred, but rare animals that need to be like protected, like in national parks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If it's not them, why the fuck would I need to come to you with a fucking document? It was literally documented with a couple months, weeks, and if not months, so you can accept that I can chop one fucking tree in my life. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So there is the law is good until it makes sense and until it's actually
Like
beneficial.
tested, yeah.
I mean, why the fuck, man?
I mean, yeah, I did like about this like law of like chopping trees, because like Latvia is like
Green.
green. Yeah, there's not deforestation but like forestation. Like there's more and more forests over like every year. Like even though like people like in US or like think about like Amazon, like there are more and more like woods getting like chopped off. Like in Latvia, there's more trees growing than they're being chopped off, and that even like if you like want to like construct something, then you like need to like have it planned. You can't like just take axe, chop trees and build like in the ancient days. But I mean, yeah, there's like some logic. If you don't want like there's like pipes underneath, but like you're in the countryside, there are no pipes there.
Mm-hmm.
Just being, I definitely like see appeal of like America, because like you have all this like freedom. You can like have guns, like basically without. Yeah, and do whatever you want, basically.
All need to take a place, man, but it really have to be balanced enough. Okay, I think that get the fuck away from this team because
From what?
it could get us in a bad position. Let's call it that. Anyways,
Speedrunning to getting banned, arrested, or sent to jail.
do you really know somebody who's like been going to the jail? I mean, besides like some tricky stuff like Andrew Tate, what the fuck was that? But besides that, do you think like actually somebody was getting to the jail because of the content they put out there? Not some stupid shit, right? Not some talking about like terrorists or something like that. Literally going all the way down why everything is bad in the government, all of that. Probably that could make that, but talking about those things. I mean, do you think somebody's really getting to the jail?
I mean, I don't think so, but there's nothing like, as Andrew Tate said, there are like steps. First, like they cancel you. Second, they send you to jail, and third,
And then you get killed. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well,
that means you did a good job.
honestly, I don't care. If that's it, I don't fucking care.
I mean, we still need to like get to stage one to get. Yeah, but
We're not there yet.
yeah.
I hope we will never be.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Overall, those people. Yeah, I mean, we talk about this jail thing. I don't think that a lot of people will go to jail because
I mean,
then the government will prove that they're not like into this masculinity thing, because all we talk about is truth. It's goddamn truth.
at least we
and
think it's true.
it is. I mean, really, it is. It is truth. It's not just what I heard. I mean, these opinions, I actually experienced them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is truth. Whether you
I
will
mean-
tell me or not, it's on your own. But okay, from that part, I don't think that it will go that far. Okay, but yeah, just I don't think that it's best way to do. You just keep doing that shit over and over again, because then they will prove that they're on the bad side, which is supporting all of those bad things, right? Supporting that. I mean, literally, Andrew Tate get banned of what? Because he was spelling too much of truth. He was
Yeah.
literally transforming all of the men into better men, into doing all of the hard work, into.
I mean, he
not-
bought to main media basically, from like the shadow of like some niches on like social media like YouTube or something like that. But he brought it like mainstream. There's like people talking about it now. Like there were people talking previously, but like was the one like who took it like by storm basically, just made it super popular, and yeah, I think that it's
Because-
definitely a good thing that more people are starting to think, but I think there's also like a large like forces like trying to like undo the thing that like Andrew Tate has done, and I think they have like not succeeded but have like done like good damage, like social media, like basically just like blocking him, like you don't really like see him that much now, personally.
A little less, yeah, but the ideology and overall the Twitter that's supported by Elon Musk, basically. If it's not the government thing, if it's something, if it's private cooperation, right, like Elon Musk right now does with Twitter and all that stuff, they really support them. They allow them to shape their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But in the government side, of course, I mean, why wouldn't they buy this if it's not beneficial for them?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Tate wants you to be strong, wants to not work in 9 to 5, and how can it be beneficial if literally all the government wants is getting more employees so they can build more stuff, do a lot of things? If you think in Andrew Tate word, of course it's better for us. It's better to become better, right, and all of that stuff. But you will not be a 9 to 5 worker. With that mentality, you can literally go to 9 to 5 and do the average thing that you're kind of building up the society, which is taking all those hard jobs, right, maintaining them, building the houses.
I mean, definitely like respect to like, I mean, those are actually some like good like masculine jobs, but
Yeah.
I mean they're like people like don't respect them anymore that much. Like if you say that you're like a carpenter, I mean, okay, I don't know like that much, but there's like a lot of like pressure to like to go in like certain like niches, like doctors, like engineers and something like that. I mean,
There's definitely need to be more benefits for those lower jobs, because they're not really lower. If we wouldn't have those people who do these jobs, the world couldn't run. They literally couldn't, because you couldn't build more houses. What would you do if your car crashes and you have to replace it? You have to fix that. And if there wouldn't be those mechanics who do that, you couldn't replace the car. That's how the world would stop. So you definitely need to bring more benefits to those people, because those are the people that deserve the respect 100%, and the world is running for them. People doesn't respect them anymore because they want all the fancy stuff. They want to be the best. They want to make more money. They want to have better opportunities. But if we really see about those things wouldn't be alive. It couldn't be possible to be the boss if you wouldn't have the employees and all the people that literally do all the work.
I mean, I think it's like very interesting that people like young people nowadays like if you ask peers like 50 years ago like what young people like wanted to do as like their jobs or careers, they wanted to be like doctors like lawyers, engineers, something like that. Nowadays like people want to be like YouTubers or like Twitch streamers, and just like bringing like no like benefit to humanity. Sort of what they're doing right now. At least we're hoping to like motivate other like men to like become better. That's like a pro like pro men and also like pro society.
I mean, it comes down to what you want to do, but like the stupid things. I mean, literally all the people supporting that you need to do this. I mean, you a lot of people can't do this stuff. There's different mentalities have to be in your own self. I saw this by myself. You can literally bring the same material, the same course to two people, and if the one have different, and there's different mentalities to both of them, if there are different mentalities to both of them, literally one can do all the stuff and the other one can do literally nothing with the same material. So it really comes down to the mentality also you have. So it really depends, because a lot of people who wants to be so-called bosses or something like that, they're not born to be those people. There would be some challenges that will literally kill them because of that. Not that literally, right? But what will make them fail. And because of the fails, because literally all the risk in the business, you will 100% fail, you will 100% have the ups and downs. But if you can't be reborn and take the fall downs as a failures, then come back stronger and be in better positions, if you can't do those hard things and deal with that mentally, because it would be a lot of mental games, then you wouldn't be successful here.
I mean, that's the Einstein quote. I don't know who said it, but that's all the people who haven't failed, haven't tried anything, and it's so true. People are also complicating everything so much, fitness, finance, everything. There's some basics, fundamental ideas that you need, that trying and failing is good, because if you learn that people just complicating everything. Also these politics, just spending all time thinking about some nonsense and not actually spending things usefully. Just a waste of time, in my opinion.
There's just a lot of misconceptions that have been created, a lot of them, and I think that the time we grow, the time that right now information is available, the more information will be available in the future because of the technologies. The more things we will know, and the more truth will be available for us. Hopefully, if government and all of those institutions would not
try to obscure it.
Yeah, because I was just thinking all the years in the resonance and all of those things. I mean, let's see, when the church was invented, right? When the church was invented, the Bible was available in Latin most of the cases.
Yeah, people couldn't read.
if you couldn't read, you couldn't get the information. So it was the one obstacle: reading in this language, reading in this language, reading in Middle Age, right? And having the information, which is Bible, it was the obstacle has to be jump over so you can get the information. Right now it's paid courses, it's something like that. I mean, there was different times when there was different information obstacles of how you get information.
Yeah.
So that's why all of those myths has created, and why a lot of people don't know the right information, which is the truth. So in the future, I think that would develop. The only question is whether governments will not try to do this shit over again.
I mean, I think that there's definitely a lot of very good information now out there for free online, Andrew Huberman, everything you need to know about medicine, fitness, and all of that stuff, Jordan Peterson, philosophy, psychology.
Yeah.
Guys talking about finance, what was the guy's name? David.
Which one?
Which one?
Which one? There's a lot of Davids.
I know. Becker? No.
David Beckerman?
I think, yeah. Or let's say Alex. Okay.
Alex Becker.
Yeah, Alex Becker. There's also
David Becker, man.
So I mean, there's also. I cannot now remember, but there's a lot. You get the point. There's a lot of people that are putting out information for free on YouTube or other platforms, and I think it's definitely doing a lot of good, but problem with that people are just listening to and procrastinating, doing good things, but they're not actually achieving something because they're not actually doing them. They're not putting in the things that they learn into action.
That's why I believe in mentor though, because he's not throwing all the random video materials out there to you. He's having the conversations one on one with you. You're talking literally about your situation, explaining them where you want to be, where you are right now. Then you create a game plan, which is created by the mentor because he know all the obstacles, all the shortcuts. Not just that, he also knows the failures that might come, so you don't get in those traps. He know all of this out. He know the best road possible to where do you want to go, and then you just talk with this, talk with him, and maybe if some content is necessary in your situation, that he will give it to you, but not just random content all the way down, like pushing from one topic to another, like getting thousands of material. You just watch them and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
That's not how that's supposed to be. You need to work and then change the things.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this in a previous episode that you need to like first do and then learn. That the like failure and is the best like teacher. Also like some quote. I mean, we know a lot of quotes.
a lot of them.
a lot of them. Yeah, and just becoming better and actually using things that you learn, because like now we talked about living in countryside, but I mean, we didn't like actually talk about anything that you're actually like very actionable. Like you cannot like really decide, okay, I'm going to like move tomorrow to countryside, because like you need to be in a good financial state, and also like you want to do it. Also, just trying to.
Of course, just let's leave some action steps. Of course, we don't know everyone's situation, but the action steps, what you would need to do in order to move those places, if that's what you want. First of all, understanding what you want. Where do you want to
that's
move?
the step basically 0. Understand where you are and where you want to go.
Definitely, exactly that. You need to understand where do you want to go. You need to understand where you are right now. Then, what's left?
Figuring out
is the gap. What is the game plan? The gap that you need to take in order to get from there, which is your current state, to get to your there, which is your desired state. It's literally the gap that you need to create, and all of the little nuances that comes with that, you need to figure that out. That's where do you spend your time, where you don't know where the fuck do you want it to spend. I know you had some of that. I had some of that, and probably a lot of people have some of that right now. They don't know what the fuck do they want to do, or then there's opportunities for the better things. Why would you watch the movie if you're not in your desired state, and if you could think about how you can get there instead? There's no point of you watching the movie if you can literally do the better stuff right now, which is figure out the game plan and actually putting the work into that, so you can get where do you want to be. Why would you stay in the place where you don't like and literally watch the fucking movie?
I think it's definitely a very like good question and like a problem to solve, thinking about like, because like people know like they want to like become like fit, it means going to the gym, or like they want to become wealthy, it means like starting a business, but like they're like just procrastinating and like not starting. Like what is the thing that is like stopping them? And because like people like may know that they want to go to the gym, but they like still watch like some movie or like TV show, and they just like keep procrastinating, like playing video games and something like that. Just
It's
what is the reason like why people are procrastinating?
That's a habit.
Yeah.
Our habit, man. Literally, it's easier for them to do. What do you think is easier? Go watch the movie or go to the gym? In our state, maybe it's easier to go to gym in some places because the mind is created in that way. Literally, if we put the normal people, all the people would say that movie is easier. So how do we make better decisions? First of all, you need to be aware of what you really want. I mean, what benefits do you have of watching the movie? Some pleasure, maybe you have some dopamine, right? You like this. But what do you want? Do you want this short pleasureness, or you want a long-term, or do you want to be the best version of yourself in the long term? Do you want to be the fit guy? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to survive in the bad situations when the body and all of this strength is needed? And then, how do you pick those opportunities? Well, first of all, yes, you are aware. You know what is better and why it is better. Literally know that.
Yeah.
Then it's creating the habits How do we do that? We already, I don't know if we talked about
I
that.
think we talked a
But
little bit about that.
it's literally adding up more frequency.
Yeah, like
Not frequency. How's that word?
I think I know. I think I know what you're doing something.
Fraction. Adding more fraction to the bad things, which is making it more harder. You need to make good stuff that is not beneficial and is bad,
Mm-hmm.
what you think is good right
Yeah.
now, right? Watching the movie. Adding more friction to that and making it harder. For example, blocking all of the movie sites, making it harder to go to the cinemas. All of those things, you make this thing as hard as possible, and then the thing that is actually beneficial for you and that you really need to be doing, make it as easier and as funny as you can.
I mean, I also think it's not just about like making like things harder, because it's about like making the good things a little bit like easier and just like starting to do them. Because like if you start going to the gym, you don't need to like do an hour session like for your first time. You can like go for like 20 minutes and just start and
Of course,
start doing that and improve over time.
you're reducing the friction to the good
But
things.
talking about like making more friction to like bad things, I think it's like a good like short term fix, but not a long one, because like at some point like the things are going that you like add blockers or something is going like to be turned off. Basically, you're going to go out and you're going to have option like to go to cinema, and you need to like train your like willpower to like not want to do it.
That's why you also need to replace.
Mhm.
That's where the
Yeah.
replacement is. If you would just, if you would not have the time for the gym and you would just figure out that you don't want to watch the movies for some, because you understand that it's bad, right?
Yeah, waste of time.
You wouldn't know where to spend that time. And what would happen again? You would fucking watch the movie. That's why you need to replace those things.
Mhm.
And of course, in the first couple maybe months, maybe even years, that would be hard to not do that because the gym would be harder. But that's exactly when you need to make it like fun for you. It's not just about going to the gym all the way down with that with like angry face, sad face, and doing some reps like that. It's not about that. It's about making it fucking fun. Making maybe go with your friends. Maybe like listen to
Yeah.
some good music that you like. I don't know what the fuck it is for you.
Yeah,
You just make it more fun to you.
Mhm.
Make it more fun. Reduce the friction and add the fucking friction to those bad things.
Mhm.
Of course, maybe you'll procrastinate. Maybe you will.
I mean, definitely everyone will procrastinate. Like, you cannot be like on a perfect streak
Yeah.
for like the rest of your life. But it's just like understanding that okay, maybe this was like a bad day. Get tomorrow like better than today, basically. Just
Yeah,
improving.
you always can change. That's the most interesting part about this game. You always can change. You could be in the fucking shitholes, in the most deepest shitholes you can, and you can always go up. You can always change.
Yeah, that's basically David like Goggins like our story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a good episode.
Yeah, good episode. Definitely the longest one yet. Had
Really?
fun, yeah. And yeah, next episode is going to be
Better.
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 Yeah, better. Good note to end the episode. Bye.
Bye.